and I've said this before in my videos, Universal Studios as well as Disney World or any other theme park or any other business, quite frankly, are not giving you these passes out of the goodness of their heart. They haven't come to holy moment where they realize the goodness in the world. The only reason that they're doing these passes and allowing guests to have them is because of the ADA, the Americans with Disability Act. To make a guest with disabilities renew and rescreen their AAP every 14 days it just seems extraordinarily extreme. Realistically, the next trip I'm going to take is probably going to be either back to Universal or Disney. And quite frankly, I am kind of dreading it in a way, which is not a way to be planning a upcoming trip. And the dread is coming a lot from worrying about how I'm going to be perceived in relation to the disability access pass that both Universal and Disney offer. So if you've watched my other videos or you haven't, I'll just kind of give you a recap on this. Disney World offers what's known as the daspass, DAS. People refer to it as DAS, and daspass is their disability access pass that Disney World offers guests with disabilities in order to be able to get a comeback time and then gain access to an attraction. Universal Studios also offers a similar disability pass known as the AAP. I think it's the Attraction Assistance Pass. Both are extremely flawed systems. The Universal Pass is like an ancient dinosaur where it's literally a card where you enter information to gain a comeback time to go on an attraction. And they even list this weird writing on it where they're like, in the event you lose this card, we won't give you another one, which doesn't sound, honestly, very ADA friendly. I'll bring up that in a second. ADA stands for the Americans with Disability Act. Both of these passes, the Universal AAP, Attraction Assistance Pass, and the Disney World DAS Pass, Disability Access Pass, are both extremely flawed systems, and the main issue that especially affects me with them is the ability to gain it in the first place and the renewal processes for both of these passes. Both are extreme in their own ways. I don't know if I can say which is worse than the other. Probably the DAS Pass is worse than Universal's. Right now, Universal Studios offers the ability to get pre-screened for the disability pass on the phone. If they didn't offer that, then I would say that they were the worse than Disney. Because they offer it on the phone, you can speak to a cast member pretty easily, and you can talk to them on the phone and get pre-screened for it. Disney claims they offer this, and I've had people write in my videos, "You're wrong on this. I was able to talk to a cast member eventually. I just had to wait 10 hours, like stuff like that." And it's like, I don't know if these people work for Disney or what their deal is, but I have tried on 2 different trips to gain pre-screening for the DAS Pass on the phone or video chat. They make you do it by video chat, not just the phone. And I have tried this for 2 trips over weeks each, and hours upon hours upon hours each. And what it does is it just hangs up on you and it won't let you do it. I think they're doing it on purpose as a way to discourage you. But the main flaw is getting these passes in the first place. So because Universal allows for you to get pre-screened, I would say it's better. But the fact that they are making people get re-screened every 14 days seems like that of insanity to me. To make a guest with disabilities renew and rescreen their AAP every 14 days it just seems extraordinarily extreme. I was saying to myself regarding the fact that they make you get rescreened every 14 days at Universal, if I theoretically moved to Orlando and I would have to go every 14 days to customer service to pick up my AAP, my new AAP, and call them every 14 days, which would come out to, you're doing twice a month, which is extreme because the humor of it is you would actually get to know the people on the phone that do customer service as well as the people in person, and you would be going like, hey there, how you doing? How's your 5 kids? It seems ridiculous. And what I'm seeing with that is that the reason they're doing it, I am someone with an invisible disability, and quite frankly, I'm getting irritable just thinking about this, just making this video. The fact that Universal Studios makes guests with disabilities renew their disability pass every 14 days. So if you lived up there, you would be going to customer service every 14 days.
And probably talking to the same person you know and learning all about them and their family.
And Disney World has their own situation where basically they make assumptions and think you look too pretty or this or that, and they just try to reject you or pretend that they got you on the system, and it becomes a whole other thing. It disgusts me, the behavior that Disney is doing. Regarding the AAP at Universal, I didn't really have an issue attaining it in the sense of they gave it to me, but I also went into the screening process knowing my rights. So my disability is covered by the ADA, which is the Americans with Disability Act. And I've said this before in my videos. Universal Studios, as well as Disney World or any other theme park or any other business, quite frankly, are not giving you these passes out of the goodness of their heart. They haven't come to holy moment where they realize the goodness in the world. The only reason that they're doing these passes and allowing guests to have them is because of the ADA, the Americans with Disability Act, which I've had people in my comments be like, oh, it doesn't cover businesses or theme parks. Yeah, it does. Okay, you can go onto their website, the ADA, and you can educate yourself. And the ADA covers theme parks, businesses, accessibility to these businesses. And if it weren't for the ADA, the Americans with Disability Act, these theme parks would tell you to go fly. And I think that they're trying to make it as difficult as possible to attain it. They fear that what if everyone finds out about this, and unfortunately you will have people not tell the truth on this stuff, and then we will have to give it to those people too. So they're trying to make it as difficult as possible, but that's also affecting the people who actually truly have disabilities. The daspass at Disney World is its own nightmare, and quite frankly, I would absolutely dread having to attempt to attain this in person. Back to the AAP with Universal for a second though, when I was pre-screened on the phone, I was given a reference number. So you go to customer service and you give them that reference number, and they look it up and they give you the AAP booklet. But quite frankly, every time I've done that, I've gotten the most unfriendly looks possible from customer service. I mean, these are people who should not be working in customer service. And if it were an in-person screening, I don't think it would have gone well. I think that you would be calling over a manager, and I've heard people, unfortunately, telling me in the comments that they've called over a manager, they don't, or the manager says the same thing. And these experiences ruin your trip, because what you end up having is a situation where they're not following the ADA, they have not given you your disability pass, and then you're going home and you're basically saying, okay, now I'm going to report them to the ADA. End up being fined, penalties for not obeying the rules and the guidelines dictated by the ADA. But in the meantime, it's ruined your trip and your experience, and you've been abused as a person with disabilities. With Disney, I had an experience where I went to the customer service location at Epcot, the first one that you can go to as you enter, and I have used DAS for a very long time. It's in the system. I have been using DAS probably at Disney since 2016, quite a while, before people even kind of knew about it. I get to the front where there's a man with an eye. He's actually on the line, and he's attending to guests who are online. He's from guest services, and he has an iPad with him, in order to deal with whatever your issue is. And I tell him I'm there to renew my DAS pass. And this man looks me up and down and basically like that. And this cast member, he looks me up and down, and he makes an assumption that with his face that he did not believe that I needed the DAS pass. He looks me up and down with a look like that of disgust that was based on appearance and preconceived judgments and being a very judgmental person, which is certainly not the Disney image. And he takes my photo, and he tells me, you're good to go, you're in the system. I end up a few hours later going to go get a comeback time for Ratatouille, and when the cast member, who was very nice, accesses my Magic Band, he tells me that I'm not registered for DAS. So I ended up going to the customer service at the back of the park, which is a whole disgusting experience in itself because I had to actually leave the park to do that. And he tells me very reluctantly, he was also, I mean, he saw I was holding my vlogging camera. I wasn't filming at the time. And he gives a look like this, and he admits that I was never registered for DAS. So I say to him, why would this happen? Was the internet not working? I mean, I'm really gaslighting myself and allowing for all these excuses where it's like the internet wasn't working. Did it just not click in? He's like, are you sure you did this today? I'm like, yeah. And then he admits that this person that initially took my photo at the front of the park never registered me for DAS because he faked it. He wanted to make it seem like he had done it, hoping that either you go away or he causes you such a aggravating experience that he ruins your day, and he was successful in that. The good thing that has come out of that situation, and I can say that, is that I have allowed for bad experiences, or certainly not nice experiences in my life, where, for example, he ruined my day with that, allow for me to use this knowledge to help others. And that has kind of become, in a sense, something that makes me happy doing, and talking about it. And then you guys end up sharing your thoughts and experiences that you've had. I've had one viewer after another put comments into the comment section, which honestly breaks my heart, where they're like, I had this experience, I told them at guest services that this was happening to me, they did not care, now I have to, report them to the ADA. And you can always do that, report them to the ADA. You could go on the website and fill out a complaint, but at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge to yourself the heartbreaking information that they ruined your trip. You spent all this money there, they mistreated you as someone with a disability, and now you're going home saying, I got mistreated, and now I have to report them to the ADA. I guess I'm making these videos to spread knowledge that this is happening. Disney prides themselves on being this ultra progressive, ultra liberal company. And quite frankly, I don't believe that this company believes in a speck of the things that they promote. So acknowledge that statement for a second. All of these things that you think that Disney is super progressive with, the bubble of joy and everyone, happy. I don't believe that this company believes in a speck of the things that they promote. They know that there's concepts that sell and concepts that bring in the viewer and bring in business, and sometimes not bring in business. But I don't believe that this company believes in a speck of the things that they promote. You don't get businessmen, which are notorious for, executives at that level are not known as being the nicest guys around. You don't get to those types of positions in life by being super nice. These people have very narcissistic tendencies to them, and with narcissists, they're going to figure out what sells, and sometimes that backfires and it doesn't sell. But I don't believe that this company really believes in the things that they are promoting. If they did, why would they be firing employees with disabilities, then making comments to them that, oh, that's just like a PR thing, we really don't, essentially care about you. They made a statement, supposedly a cast member, inclusiveness is just a PR thing. If they were as progressive and liberal, and if this company really believed in just good virtue and progressiveness, then I don't believe that I or other guests would be experiencing the things we're experiencing. You wouldn't have employees with disabilities being fired. You wouldn't have, which has happened many times at Disney, you wouldn't have them mistreating people with disabilities. This company is the old joke of MGM, Mickey's got money. And it's a shame that a lot of your Disney vloggers who do primarily theme park content cannot show you realistic vlogs. They cannot show you, I went to this resort and it was very beautiful and I enjoyed this element and I had fun with this. But it's a shame that some of them seem such on the dime that they cannot talk about important issues that are realistically affecting people. You go on my channel, you will see that I've done hotel reviews, and there's moments where I had fun at Disney, but there's also these experiences I've had happening, which honestly right now seem like more important to cover than showing you a food court of a hotel that you've seen a million times. So I am thinking about going back up to either Universal or Disney, and I may go in the summer, but honestly, it is so hot that is a huge deterrent in me going. And right now I'm kind of thinking October, November for going, because, and I'm just kind of saying to myself, where do I want to go? Do I want to go to Disney and deal with one level of abuse, or do I want to go to Universal and deal with another level of abuse, and which place is going to abuse me less? And that just seems like a really rotten place to be as a consumer. You know, you're saving up, you're spending money, and you're actually saying to yourself, which place am I going to get abused less? You know, that's something I guess I'm going to have to give some thought to, and ask myself, how do you still have fun? How do you still go out and not cocoon yourself? In other words, live in a cave, but also acknowledge that these things are happening. And the answer is probably, honestly, having a platform and starting to talk about these issues. So feel free to share experiences that you've had in the comments. A lot of you have, and a lot of you have, been talking about some experiences that unfortunately you've had, or concerns you have about an upcoming trip. So feel free to share those, and I will try to answer your questions the best that I can. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. I think that this is forming a community where we can, as corny as it sounds, start to make a difference when it comes to things like this. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video, and bye.